Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. I love a 1911 pistol, but the only problem with one, in my opinion, is the single stack capacity. So, what's the best thing to do about that? Well, two 1911s, of course. Two's better than one. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Today, we have an episode about probably my favorite type of pistol, 1911s. I absolutely love 1911s. The classic styling, the just everything about John Moses Browning's century-old design is something that just invokes a really good feeling in me as far as being a shooter. They have incredible ergonomics, and they're really good-looking pistols. They feel good. And so we've got a video about two 1911s today. They're both Springfields. We're going to kind of compare and contrast them. We've got the Defend Your Legacy series Mil-Spec 1911 and the Springfield TRP on pretty much the opposite end of the financial spectrum as far as Springfield's lineup goes. So there's a lot more features in this one, but the price is also double what this one costs. So we're gonna see what to you might be the best bang for your buck. Springfield Mil-Spec 1911. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Shoots great. It's a Springfield TRP. Double the cost of the Mil-Spec. Everything you need and everything you want. Ooh, I love this pistol. So when it comes to 1911s, when it comes to pistols in general, there are so many options out there that you can choose from, ranging in price and features drastically. And within those pistols are 1911s. And 1911 purists, some people, believe that you have to spend thousands of dollars for a quality 1911. Other people at the opposite end of the spectrum will be happy to buy a 1911 made in the Philippines or somewhere like that, and get something for around $500. But generally, you do get what you pay for. Fortunately or unfortunately, it is what it is. But if you go with a company that you know has a good reputation, you might not have to pay as much as you think for something with, a lot of quality. These are both Springfield 1911s. This one costs around $700. This one costs around $1,400. They both have forged frames, slides, stainless steel match grade barrels. So technically, they're the same gun and they do the same thing. They both shoot 45 ACP. They're both very, very accurate pistols. And so why would you spend $1,400 when you can get one for $700? That's a question that I had to answer for myself, and a question you might have to answer for yourself. But if you're in the market for a 1911, Springfield is a great way to go. There's a lot of American 1911 manufacturers that make fantastic guns. And then there are manufacturers overseas or in other countries that are imported that make 1911s too. But kind of, in my opinion, a 1911, like an AR-15, it's an American classic. And I believe that you should buy American when it comes to the design of a 1911. So to me, it makes more sense to spend $700 on a bare bones Springfield that has the quality control, and that you're going to get something with good tolerances and something that is just quality made, something that's, that it's forged and not just metal injection metal parts. So I'd rather spend $700 on something like this than $400 on something that's coming from another country, if that makes sense to you. So we're gonna compare these two. We're gonna go up close in a minute and show you what the differences and the similarities between these are, and see which one makes more sense to you. And I'll tell you in the end what my opinion is, what makes more sense to me. I do want to take a moment to thank every one of you that's subscribed to the channel, and everyone that leaves me a comment. And honestly, I appreciate every one of you very much. So we have two beautiful guns here. That's one of my favorite things about the 1911. The way it looks, it is just classic. When you compare them with modern, polymer frame, striker fired pistols, there's just something about a 1911 that has just more soul, more style to it. They feel fantastic in the hand when you're shooting them. They handle recoil really well, and they're extremely accurate. And both these pistols fit everything that I just said. But there are a lot of differences. So, like I said in the beginning, both of these have forged frames, forged slides, and stainless steel match grade barrels. So at their very heart, they're very similar pistols. But when you take a look at them, there's just a lot of features that you get in something like this that you don't get in this. Now, with the Defend Your Legacy series Mil-Spec 1911, what you're basically buying is a clone of a 1911 A1, the original GI 1911. Now it has a couple of upgrades. It has a lowered and flared ejection port, and it has higher sights than an original GI 1911 came with. So it's a much more shootable and much more reliable because of those couple things. But besides that, you get the standard, short trigger. You get the spur hammer. You get the regular beaver tail with the grip safety that doesn't, have a big extension on it right here. You don't get really any kind of texture on the front strap. You have a curved mainspring housing with vertical lines on it and fairly basic sights. But it is a 1911 through and through, and it's going to do what 1911s do. This is one of my favorite pistols to shoot. Of the ones that I own, maybe my favorite. Now, when you go with something like the TRP here, Springfield as well, but this you can see has a ton more features. It's kind of dressed up for the modern shooter in mind. So you get an ambidextrous safety here. Let's see, I'm going to drop the magazine. Ambidextrous safety. You get the skeletonized hammer and trigger with a longer length of pull there. You get 20 lines per inch checkering on both the front strap and back strap. You get the enhanced beaver tail and grip safety. And you get better sights on it. These are actually Trigicon tritium night sights, which is pretty nice. You also get a flared magazine well, and it comes with two of these stainless steel magazines with the bottom butt plate on them that just slide right into that mag well really nice and easily. You also get these G10 grips, and when you grip this thing, it is a very solid grip in your hand, where compared to this, and I have replaced these grips with just nicer looking wood grips, but you don't have quite as good of a grip on this one. So controlling recoil with something like this, where your fingers are just stuck to the gun, you do notice a difference there. Besides that, having this beaver tail makes it really easy to get a high grip on the pistol, and you're not going to get any hammer bite. Whereas with this, whoops, it's a little bit less comfortable right here. So we're going to break these down as well. They do break down a little bit differently. The GI breaks down like a regular GI 1911. And let's do that real quick. So you break down a GI 1911, this is what you get. You have your barrel, recoil spring, your plug, your barrel bushing, all your standard 1911 parts right here. And you can see that forged steel frame and slide. Beautiful match grade barrel. The only difference between that and something like this is you have this full length guide rod here, which you have to pull out. You unscrew it with an Allen key, and then it breaks down the exact same way. So I'm going to show you a little difference in the interior of these guns real quick, and you'll see one of the big differences. So with both of these 1911s broken down, the big difference here is this. Like I said, same forged steel frame, slide, same barrel pretty much. But you'll notice in the TRP, you see this engraving on the barrel and the slide here? Well, that is there so that the gunsmith putting it together can keep the right parts with the right parts because it's all hand fitted. And so that is something that's going to cost more. It's going to take more time and work to hand fit parts together to guarantee that you have a gun with such tight tolerances that you're not going to have any issues with it. Now on the Mil-Spec, you don't have that. Here's the barrel to the Mil-Spec and the slide, and you don't see any engraving in there. Other than that, all the parts are the same except for the full length 2-piece guide rod. Let's put these back together and go back up top. 230 grain, 45 ACP, Springfield Mil-Spec 1911. So as much as I love my Mil-Spec Springfield, this TRP has got me spoiled. Although it did just jam. So having just broken down and reassembled these two 1911s, you can see the only real difference in the breakdown and assembly is the full-length 2-piece guide rod on the TRP. Otherwise, it breaks down the same way as your standard GI 1911. So don't be intimidated. It's not complicated. It's easy. People make a big deal out of that for some reason, but it's not. But one thing I did just show you there is the fact that they hand fit the parts on the TRP. So that's part of what you're paying for when you pay double for this pistol versus this one. Now, is it worth it to you? You know, at the range, they both pretty much shoot the same. I feel like I can be just as accurate with this one as this one. The main difference though, I can fire this one accurately a little bit faster because of this grip, because of this checkering on the front strap. You just get a little bit better of a purchase on it to control recoil and get back on target faster. Besides that, having the night sights might be something that comes in handy someday at night. We'll see. It doesn't have a rail on it for attaching a light, so night sights, you know, are something at least. You don't get that with this. There's a lot that you get on this pistol that you don't with this. Is it worth spending twice as much money? That's up to you. You know, the whole reason that I bought this pistol was I'd gone to the range with my buddy Micah, who I want to give a shout out to. I have this pistol on loan from him, and this was a few years ago. At the time, the only gun I had was this Ruger. And as much as I liked this Ruger, shooting his 1911, I kind of fell in love. And I really wanted a high quality, forged, American-made 1911, but I wasn't willing to spend $1,400, $1,500 on one at the time. Now I found this Springfield Mil-Spec, and I bought it, and I've been very happy with it. This gun has treated me really well. In fact, I haven't had any malfunctions with this gun that weren't related to this big extendo mag. So, you know, it's been extremely reliable, which is one thing people try to knock 1911s about. Now you'll see in the footage today, I did get one malfunction with this TRP. Not saying that it's not reliable, because that's the only malfunction I've had with it, and it's not my personal gun. As far as I know, I think it's been basically 100% for my buddy who owns it. Now, this gun is impressive. This is a gun to show off. This is a gun that feels expensive. It really does. It looks expensive and it feels expensive. And it's made to be tactical and to be able to be used in that kind of environment, in harsh environments, in scary situations. Not to say that this isn't, but you know, this is the same design that they used back in the day that the GIs carried. So these were used probably in the worst situations you could possibly imagine, and they performed well. If they didn't, they wouldn't have been the military's, you know, sidearm for as many decades as they were. So you can't discount this. Now, what are you going to choose? Let me tell you a little bit about what you get for the price of this versus this. Now, when you buy the Mil-Spec, they do cut cost where they can to bring you a quality pistol at such a low price point. You only get one of these steel magazines. You're not going to get the magwell. You're going to get all the standard stuff that you get on a GI 1911. With this, you're going to get two stainless steel magazines. You get the magwell, the checkering, the G10 grips, the night sights, the stainless steel construction, which you gotta admit just looks beautiful. It also comes with this nice range bag that you can fit all kinds of mags and other stuff in, whereas the Mil-Spec just comes with this little thing here, but it does fine for me too. I've got my extra mags in there. It works. You know, comes in a cardboard box. They save you a little money there. So they save you money where you can, but what you get is you still get the forged frame, the forged slide, the match grade barrel. I know I keep saying that, but those are the most important parts of the gun. So to me, if you've got less than $1,000 and you're dead set on American 1911, you can't go wrong with this Mil-Spec. You can always upgrade later if you really want to, and when you can afford something like this, go for something like this. I got to admit, ever since I've had this one in my possession, I do feel a little spoiled with it. It just feels like a more expensive gun, because it is. But I got to admit, they're both 1911s. They both feel great to shoot. They both look great in different ways, depending what you're going for. If you want more of the old school military style look, or the more modern tactical look, what are you willing to spend your money on? I've been very happy with this purchase, but there are other options in between too. Springfield's just come out with the Garrison. It's only about $150 more than this, and you know, you get better sights on it. You get the extended grip safety, the beaver tail. You don't get front strap checkering, but you get most of the modern kind of features that you get on something like this for closer to $900 versus $1,400. So there is a 1911 kind of for every budget. I do want to warn you maybe not to get something real cheap though. You get something like a Taurus 1911, and don't get me wrong, I own a Taurus. This is my carry gun, but it's not a 1911. From what I've heard, the Taurus 1911, you get like a 12-pound trigger pull. And the biggest thing about a 1911 is this single action trigger. That's like the best part about the gun. You get no take up, or very little, and an extremely light, crisp trigger pull. And you get that same trigger basically on both of these. You know, this one has a little bit shorter length of pole than this one does. And this one actually has an adjustable length of pole with a little set screw in there, which is a nice feature. But if you're gonna spend your money, spend it wisely and get something quality. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles to shoot the way a 1911 should, but you definitely want to spend your money on something, in my opinion, American made. TRP 1911. It's a beautiful pistol, but more than that, it just feels great to shoot. Love it. So I hope you guys got a little bit of information from this video. I don't know if you could tell, but I love 1911s. They just feel really, really good to shoot. And any of you that have them, I'm sure you know that as well. If you could let me know what kind of 1911s you have, which ones you've had really good success with, which ones you feel like are not worth the money, that would be great. I feel like I am getting close to being in the market for a little bit of an upgraded one from this. Maybe not quite this, but something in between. If you like this content, please leave us a like. Please share this, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. All of those things help the algorithm and really help us get these videos out to more people. Also, if you check the links in the description, we have a Patreon account and an Amazon affiliate account. I want to thank everyone that has clicked on those links. Everything helps, and it is also very much appreciated. We do finally have the slide and the red dot back on my M&P. That video is coming very soon. We're going to close out the build series with 2 more videos on that. Happy to let you know that that kind of has been resolved as far as the lost slide and the post office and that whole story. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the first 2 M&P build series videos. Anyway, from Sawtooth Tactical, remember, stay strapped or get clapped.
Hi, my name is Savannah, and this is my dad shooting 2 1911s. 1911 versus 1911. Mike's 1911 versus my dad's Mike's 1911. Yeah, and that's the video's name. Welcome to the Sawtooth Tackle. Bye.